Hello, everyone. This is Rob Porter again in the third video that I'm going to be doing on my series on using Google Classroom and Google Forms in order to save time and help with your instruction. So today's video is going to be about Google Forms. And today, basically what I'm going to do is show you how to set up a Google Form in order to assess students' learning or basically any questions you might want to ask a student. For example, an exit ticket to find out how they learned something, or perhaps a survey to find out more about your students. So anyway, to get to Google Forms, you can see I'm on the Google homepage. In the first video, we talked about logging into our Google account. You can see my little icon up here in the upper right-hand corner means that my Google account, I am logged in already. So I'm going to type in the word forms in Google, and the first thing that comes up is Google Forms. And when I click on Google Forms, you can see that brings me to the Go to Google Forms in the middle of the page. And if I look up, I can see that there's also Docs, which is Google's version of Microsoft Word, Sheets, which is Google's forms of Excel, Slides, which is Google's forms of PowerPoint. But of course, today we are looking at making forms, which I will use for creating exit tickets, assessments, surveys, quizzes, all these types of things. So I'm going to go to Google Forms. Now, the great thing about Google Forms is, of course, I don't have to print out a whole bunch of papers that I'm going to then give to my students. And also, for things like multiple choice questions, I can have them be graded for me. So basically, it's going to save me a lot of time because I'm not going to have to grade these. They will automatically be graded for me for these multiple choice things. So you can see up here at the top, it says start a new form, and there is blank. We've got blank quiz, exit ticket, assessment, and worksheet. So these are the different types. Basically, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the quiz, and we're going to look at the creating a new quiz. So I'm going to go here and click on the blank quiz because this is going to create something for me that will grade itself. Okay, so when it comes up, it says blank quiz. If I wanted to change it up, like as far as let's say for example the color scheme up here, I've got a little color palette. So if I'm not a purple guy and I wanted something blue, well, now I have a blue quiz. I have a preview so I can see what my quiz will look like. I've also got different settings. If I click on that, if I've got, for example, if I click on quizzes, I'm making something a quiz, release the grade immediately after submission, so my students will know now exactly what grade they got when they're finished with it. The respondent can see missed questions, correct answers, and the point values. So I'm going to save all that. I like all those things. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name my quiz. So up here in the upper left-hand corner, it says blank quiz. I'm going to put here for you guys sample quiz number 1. I'll change it here to sample quiz number 1 as well. Okay. A lot of times being a language arts teacher, I use these for vocabulary units. So a lot of times I will title these, for example, Flocabulary Unit 1. And that's the Flocabulary is the name of the vocabulary program that I have. I could put a description on here. For example, let's say I was doing, if I was a science teacher and I was doing the elements, I could say, answer these questions about the different elements. Okay, so I've got untitled question 1. So let's click on that first question. One of the things you may want to do is to capture people's names. So one way that I do this, you could see here, it says multiple choice. So I'm going to click on that, and I've got short answer, paragraph, okay? So I might have a short answer, I might have a paragraph answer, multiple choice, a check boxes or a drop-down menu. In this case, I'm going to do a short answer, and my untitled question is going to be name, okay? And I'm going to have that be required, okay? And so that way, the first thing that's going to happen is the person is going to have to put their name down in order to continue. And of course, I'm not going to put that down on the answer key. That's 0 points because that's not a question that I'm going to grade. But of course, I want their name on it. So let's add the next question. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to pretend that this is a math quiz. So let's try what is 1 plus 1, and what does that equal? Okay, so now I've got my different answers. So let's say I say the answer is 1, the answer is 2, the answer is 3, or the answer is 4. Okay, so this is a multiple choice, and then I've got my answer key at the bottom. I'm going to make this a 2-question quiz. So obviously, if I've only got 2 questions, I would make each of them worth 50 points. And this is important because this is going to tell you what the grade is at the end. Okay. All right. So now that I've done another question, I've got here my add question, add title and description, add image, add video. See, I can do any of these things. I'm just going to add another question. And this time I'll do what is 2 times 2. And what does that equal? So in this case, I'm going to go 1, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So obviously the correct answer to that, I'll go to my answer key, and I'll make that the correct answer is number 4, and I'll make that worth 50 points as well. Okay? Okay. So, that is my sample quiz. So now if I go back to my Google Forms, there is my sample quiz number 1. Okay. That's in my Google Forms section. If I click on that, if I want to share that, I've got the send button right here. Okay. So I could send that via email, or I could send it a link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the copy button. I'm going to hit Command C, and then I'm going to go back to my sample Google Classroom page, okay? And I could either do this as a create an announcement or create an assignment. I'm going to do create an announcement for this, and I'm going to hit a link. I'm going to paste that link in there. On Apple, of course, that's Command V. If you have a different type of computer, however you do that. And then I'm going to add that link. And I'm going to say, here is your sample quiz. And then I'm going to post that. So now there it is on my Google Classroom page. When my students come in, here is my multiple choice. That's saved. So if you have units that you are giving to your students year after year, rather than continue to, print off and make grade them all the time. What you're doing is you're creating it once, and then every year you'd be able to link it up there to your Google Classroom page. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how they get graded, and I'm going to show you some of the other types of Google Forms that you might use for your classroom page. So at this time, what I would like you to do is I would like you to go to Google Forms and create your own sample page and practice it linking it to your Google Classroom page. So once you've done that, underneath this video, there'll be a link to an exit ticket that I'm going to make, of course, on Google Forms. And you can tell me what you thought of the training, if you have any questions, and anything else you would like to learn about Google Forms. All right, thanks, and tune in once you've mastered that. Please check out the next video, which will go a little bit into how to grade things on Google Forms, where to get them from, and some additional types of forms that you can create on Google Forms. Hope this has been enjoyable for you. Thanks, and have a great day.